Good evening, friends. It's always a great pleasure to interact with you all. Today, we will be discussing a very important advance ruling, which is coming from the Karnataka Advance Ruling Authority. And this ruling is important because it is applicable to all the high net worth individuals who don't have a GST registration number. In this advance ruling, the applicant, Mr. Anil Kumar Agarwal, who was the resident of Bengaluru, he raised a question as to what all things will be added for the purpose of calculating the GST registration aggregate turnover. That is, we all know that under GST, the limit for GST registration is 20 lakhs, but how to calculate this 20 lakhs is a matter and needs to be resolved, and transparency should be there that all those items which are present in the capital account of the assessee, the unregistered individuals, the receipts are above 20 lakhs. So in this judgment, we will be discussing all those items which were raised by Mr. Anil Kumar Agarwal. He raised 21 items. He asked 21 questions from the Advance Ruling Authority, and out of those 21 items, the Advance Ruling Authority has ordered that 17 items will be included in the definition of aggregate turnover. वो 20 लाख की गणना में वो 17 आइटम जुड़ेंगे। 4 ऐसे चीज़ें हैं जो उस 20 लाख की गणना में नहीं जुड़ेंगी, तो उन सभी 21 चीज़ों पे आज मैं ब्रीफ में डिस्कस करूँगा what all things were discussed. So let's start. The first item which that Mr. Anil Kumar Agarwal asked was regarding the partner's salary. He must be a partner in a partnership firm. So he asked whether the partner's salary in the individual capital account of Mr. Anil Kumar Agarwal will be added or not. The Advance Ruling Authority has said that this salary of partner will be neither a supply of service, neither supply of goods. It will be covered under clause 1 of schedule 3, which says that it is neither a supply of service nor a supply of goods. So it will not be added within the definition of aggregate turnover. The second question, important question, which he asked about the director's remuneration. We all know that recently an advance ruling from the Rajasthan High Court has also come, which is saying that the salary or the remuneration of the executive directors will be subject to RCM, but this is a judgment which is contrary to that judgment, which is in favor of the assessee, this Karnataka Advance Ruling judgment. And in this judgment, they are saying that the executive directors of the company, if any director is receiving the remuneration in his capital account, so that will neither a supply of service nor a supply of goods. It will be within the definition of employer-employee relationship, and there is no applicability of reverse charge on the remuneration received by an executive director. But if the director is a non-executive director, if he is a non-executive director, in that case there is no employer-employee relationship. His salary will be calculated for the purpose of calculating 20 lakhs, that is the aggregate turnover limit. The next is the interest on partner's capital. In this case, Mr. Anil Kumar Agarwal was a partner in a partnership firm, and as a partner, he was receiving the interest on partner's capital, that is the fixed capital and the variable capital. So he wanted to know whether this will be added. They said that interest on deposits, loans and advances under GST, it is an exempted supply. ये करमुक्त सेवा माना गया है, इसीलिए इंटरेस्ट ऑन कैपिटल अगर कैपिटल अकाउंट में किसी पार्टनर के आता है तो 20 लाख की गणना में शामिल किया जाएगा. Next, he asked about the interest on the loans. Loan given by the unregistered person. अगर किसी व्यक्ति ने unregistered जो GST में पंजीकृत नहीं है उसने लोन दिया है and he is receiving interest on that loan, that interest component करमुक्त सेवा है, there is no applicability of GST on it, लेकिन 20 लाख की गणना में वो इंटरेस्ट ऑन लोन जोड़ा जाएगा. Similarly, he asked about the interest received on the advance given. अगर एडवांस दिया गया है और उस एडवांस पे ब्याज की प्राप्ति हुई है तो वो 20 लाख की गणना में जोड़ा जाएगा. The next question he asked about the interest which he received from the fixed deposit. Interest he is receiving from the savings deposit, interest from FDR, interest from PPF, interest from Provident Fund, all these interest which are accumulating in his capital account. The answer is the same. The advance ruling authority said that it is an interest on deposits, loans and advances. It is an exempted from GST, but for the purpose of calculating the aggregate turnover, GST रजिस्ट्रेशन की लिमिट कैलकुलेट करते समय ये सारी ब्याज, चाहे वो PPF से हो, चाहे वो PF से हो, चाहे वो फिक्स डिपॉजिट से हो, चाहे वो सेविंग अकाउंट से हो, उस पर GST की देयता तो नहीं है, परंतु 20 लाख की गणना जब हम करेंगे फॉर कैलकुलेटिंग द रजिस्ट्रेशन लिमिट, that all these exempted interest will be added. Similarly, NSC interest will also be added. Then he asked about the interest on the NPS account. In the same way, also interest on NPS account will also be added into the aggregate turnover for calculating the interest. Then he must have received some receipts from the policy maturity. He must be having some insurance policy which has matured and he must have received the amount on maturity. इस पर एडवांस रूलिंग ने कहा चूंकि जीएसटी कानून में जब प्रीमियम दिया जाता है इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम, तो उसमें देयर इज एन एप्लीकेबिलिटी ऑफ जीएसटी ऑन इट. सो सिंस द जीएसटी हैज ऑलरेडी बीन पेड ऑन द प्रीमियम कंपोनेंट, व्हेन द मैच्योरिटी ऑफ दिस इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी इज डन, then there will be no applicability of GST. It is just a receipt which is not a supply and it will not be added. Then he raised the question that in the capital account Mr. Anil Kumar Agarwal has received the dividend from shares, or he must have received the capital gain from shares. In this case, in this item, the advance ruling has said that if you are receiving a dividend from shares, अगर आपको शेयर से डिविडेंड मिलता है या शॉर्ट टर्म या लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन होता है शेयर्स पे, तो इन दैट केस दिस ऑल विल नॉट बी एडेड फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ कैलकुलेटिंग द एग्रीगेट टर्नओवर, बिकॉज जो सिक्योरिटीज हैं, द शेयर्स कम विद इन द डेफिनेशन ऑफ सिक्योरिटीज एंड सिक्योरिटी इज आउटसाइड द परव्यू ऑफ द डेफिनेशन ऑफ गुड्स. It is outside the purview of definition of services. So it is outside the purview of the aggregate turnover as well. Then the next question he asked was regarding the rent. The rent from the residential property, the rent from the commercial property. We all know that rent from commercial property is subject to GST and it will be added within the aggregate turnover. But रेंट फ्रॉम रेसिडेंशियल प्रॉपर्टी, अगर आवासीय कोई किराया आता है, हालांकि वो जीएसटी कानून में करमुक्त सेवा माना गया है, बट फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ कैलकुलेटिंग द एग्रीगेट टर्नओवर, आवासीय किराए को भी उस एग्रीगेट टर्नओवर की परिभाषा में जोड़ा जाएगा. यानी कि 20 लाख की गणना करने में कॉमर्शियल रेंट और रेसिडेंशियल रेंट दोनों ही जोड़े जाएंगे. सो दीज वर ऑल 21 आइटम्स. These 21 items are very common and they are present in most of the capital accounts, one or the other. So we have to take care that most of these items will be covered for the purpose of calculating the aggregate turnover. यानी कि जीएसटी रजिस्ट्रेशन की जो 20 लाख की गणना की जाती है उसमें ये ज़्यादातर चीज़ें जुड़ेंगी. So this is a very important judgment which is coming after the implementation of GST, because many questions were unanswered as the partner's salary, regarding the interest on capital. So this advance ruling is giving answer to all those ambiguities which were there under the GST Act, and there were two views regarding the same. So this judgment is to be kept in mind, all those things which are to be added, and accordingly at the time of filing the annual income tax return, we have to see that if the receipts which are present in the capital account and which are to be added for the purpose of aggregate turnover are to be carefully analyzed, and we have to see that if they are exceeding 20 lakhs, that unregistered individual needs a GST registration. So this was all from this advance ruling. With this we have to say thank you and have a nice day. Thank you.